is not me trying to convince you as to why you should watch it. This is a purely selfish video documenting my rank of the year. Oh wait, hello, hi. We're here. We're here to talk about every anime that I've watched this year. I've actually watched a lot of anime. And by anime I've watched, we're talking about like a new series that started this year. For me, I watched a lot. I have not watched this many like simulcasts really ever, I think. Now, there are a handful of shows that, for whatever reason, I like didn't get to watch when they aired. Maybe like they didn't feel like my cup of tea. Or now that I'm like, okay, if I have some downtime over the holidays, what should I watch? And so there are a couple shows like Delicious in the Dungeon you're not gonna see on this list. Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Dark or in the Night. You won't see that on this list. But those are like two shows that immediately come to mind that I'm like, I didn't watch them. I know they're good. I want to watch them. There are other shows that are like, I don't know, Solo Leveling that like everyone watched. I will not be watching it. That's not really an isekai girl. Either way, I am going to be doing a tier list. I need some way to organize my thoughts, and frankly, doing a numerical list is going to be too hard. Without further ado, let's start this rank. So I'm even including shows that I dropped because we need to shout out the people who disappointed us. But first up we have Acro Trip. Wow, why is it starting with that show? I love that show. I feel like we shouldn't start off at such a high note. Because it's an S tier to me. This random magical girl comedy. I'm not like a magical girl. I'm not into magical girls like that. I wasn't a Sailor Moon stan growing up, but like I can appreciate what magical girls bring to the table. It's hard to like not spoil things. This is not me trying to convince you as to why you should watch it. This is a purely selfish video documenting my rank of the year. It's S tier. The comedy is great. There are these adorable bears that just like pop up in and out, and the antagonist, man, he's a harmless guy. He's just really funny. I just find myself really laughing a lot when I watch this show. It's a fall 2024 one, and I just had a blast. Acro Trip is definitely an S tier show for me. Next, we have a bit of whiplash actually because a condition called love, I dropped that like a sack of potatoes, very hot potatoes. I think I made it like 2 or 3 episodes like of the way through, and I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I don't know if it was because like I wasn't buying the chemistry between the two like characters, or if I found the dude too annoying, and I don't know. I just maybe wasn't in a headspace to like give it a try. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I don't like you. I'm not feeling you. And I just came off like this a sign of affection run, and we'll get into that. But like, I don't know. My tolerance level just wasn't very high, so I dropped it. And I have no problem with that. I am a very strong romance anime girl. So the fact that I dropped this made me feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, like you got to speak your truth. And my truth is a condition called love just wasn't it. So next we have Elusive Samurai. And I actually have not technically finished this show yet, but it's between great and good. And let's see, I'm gonna put it at good with the potential to be really great. Like it's like a B.5. Is that a thing? Um there it would be great if it wasn't for these like creepy creepy CGI like horse. The use of CGI just it ruined it, but like everything else was just really fun, and it's a historical shonen anime that I really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to finishing it for sure. Next we have everyone's favorite child. It's probably going to have to be the anime of the year. And it's one of those where like I'm not mad. I understand, and I'm a fan too. Definitely Dan to Dan is an S tier. Do I need to explain? Yeah, no, exactly. So moving on. Again with this whiplash. What? This one, like the stories of girls who don't have magical powers or whatever it is, I dropped it. I tried like 2 episodes, and the plot just like it was there because she wants to be a magician so bad, but she fails out of the test, and but she still gets into school into like the normie track, and like that. So that plot has potential, but it just the pacing was dragging, and frankly, I don't know. Like there was just this is a fall release. There are so many great shows like airing in the fall that I was like, why would I bother with you? You know, like I'm moving on. I'm moving on up to better things. So, but I'm proud of myself that I gave it a shot. The design is very really interesting and unique. But you know that can't carry the weight of a show. Next, we have a salad bowl of eccentrics. You know, I will say I feel like I tried more shows this year than I have ever before. Um, and that means sometimes you drop things. This was one of them. Honestly, I feel like I just really desperately wanted something to watch over the summer, and I wanted like more than like the 2 shows that I was watching. So I gave this show a try. Did I even get through episode 1? Maybe. But even if I got to episode 2, I was like, what am I doing here? It's a show, there's a girl, like a child girl, and a man. I think she's not from Earth. And that's all I got for you. And that's why it was dropped. Okay, next we have top of the year. We got A Sign of Affection. And it's going in the B tier. It's going in the B tier. It started off in the A. I was truly screaming and kicking my feet in my bed when I was watching this. And I was like, yes, I'm living my like best romance anime dreams. I don't know. Then I was just like, I just got kind of annoyed with the protagonist. Um, the silver-haired boy. I don't know. I wanted to see at some point I was like I liked seeing the romance between like the main girl and the main dude. But at some point I was like, I want you to spread your wings, girl, on your own without him. I like that he's inspiring you and he's like opening up your worldview. But there's more to the world than him. There are more fish in the sea. And if there's anything I tell anyone, like well for the ladies anyway, see what's out there. Sample. Don't just go for the first nice guy who comes your way. That kind of like annoyed me towards the end, and I was just very biased in that regard. Okay, Bucchigiri. That is a drop. It's a very unfortunate drop. I had like good expectations for this. I wasn't on the Tokyo Revengers train. So it's been a while since I've had some delinquents in my life, and I don't know, just like the way that the characters were drawn and like it was a fun vibe. You know, Mappa was giving me something that was a little bit different from what I usually partake in with him. But that main protagonist, what's his name? Audigen? I think that's him. Oh my god, like you can be horny. That's fine. It happens. But that's all you do for the entire show? And it's not even like you're gonna be horny and have character development. You're that's all you are? Even with these cool powers? You're it was just I found myself truly wishing that like his childhood best friend, who is the second protagonist guy, side character, was like the show was about him. I wish it was about him. He was really compelling. Like they gave him a whole backstory and like all this other stuff. And the main protagonist is just like, I'm a virgin. That's all you bring to the table is virginity? So does everyone else in the world. Like, that doesn't make you special. Anyways, so that was a big drop. And I like got to episode 7, so I gave it a try and I was like, we're through. We're done. I'm not wasting any more of my time on you. But yes, the proper delinquent of the year, Windbreaker. A tier, A tier, A tier. And remember, to me, A tier is like that's a great show. That is a great show. don't feel slighted that it's not in the S tier. Like S tier is reserved for a higher plane of existence, right? Um, S tier is synonymous with oxygen, if you will. I don't know. I guess I could exist without Windbreaker in some aspect, but like it'd be hard. Anyways, I do a lot of metaphors. Yeah, it was a great show. There's nothing bad that I have to say about it. In my soul of soul, my like heart's connection, something about it just like isn't S tier, but like it's a great show. I had a fantastic time. I'm very much excited for the next season. Ah, yes. Cherry magic. Does 30 years of virginity make you a wizard? It does, in fact, make you a wizard. And it does, in fact, put you at the A tier. Um, we were given adults. We were giving adults in the office. We were giving adults in the office romance. And I just had a great time. Like, anime is entertainment. And I was entertained to the fullest degree in a way that like I didn't think I was going to be. I think maybe another theme of this year is come with low expectations and then see what happens. So this is a BL. There were fun stakes. Like the main protagonist, his wizard power is he can read minds because he's a virgin at 30. Um, and I'm like, one, Autajin, you should take notes because that's cool. Second, that creates like an interesting, fun dynamic. He finds out that his coworker has a crush on him. And he's like, what? But wait, I don't even like guys. But do I? I'm not a part of the queer community or anything, but I just feel like it didn't pander at all. And it just made for like a really fun, enjoyable, but relatable watch. I like to watch romance anime that like are also just with it like with adults and not solely the teenagers and high schoolers doing high school things. Speaking of adults falling in love, I'm gonna skip the line because 365 days into the wedding, that's a great show. That's a great show. Another great romance of the year. Um, more adults doing the love and the romance thing. Um, we've got The Office. We've got a nice fake dating trope going on, fake marriage trope, really. Um, and it's just two introverts, like essentially falling in love. Um, and a lot of different nuanced conversations about like relationships and marriage and what that means. And I love a good slice of life. I love a good chillaxed, don't make my heart race. Don't terrorize me with your shonen punches like show. And the show is that. Next up, we have something 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 reincarnated as a seventh prince so I can practice my magical ability or whatever. The title doesn't really matter because I dropped it. I dropped it anyway. And you want to know why I dropped it? Cuz I just didn't care anymore. I don't know. I was like, who what granted, I dropped it like around episode 7. So it was like, well, you gave it that much time. Why didn't you finish it through? But I was like, we only get one life to live. Why? Why? If you're bored, it like that show was like my anime side piece, like second string. If I'm really that desperate, really that bored, sure I'll call you. But like, if you don't hit me up ever again, if I don't hit you up ever again, do I remember who you are? Do I care? No. You're just another chess on the chessboard. Not no, that's not how that goes. You're just another piece on the chessboard. Um, and also there was like a little harem thing happening. I was like, I don't want this. Also, like an adult got reincarnated into a child. Um, but like the harem was like all girls who were older than him, and it's just not for me. Also, the way that they highlighted this like child's thighs, it was like, why did you put the highlight there? Oh, I don't know. And like he's a boy, but I'm like the character is giving me girl. So half the time I was thinking that this was a girl, and that made it a little better. But I digress. I don't know. Dropped shows should not take as much time or space within the rank. But I've got things to say clearly. Meanwhile, shows that I enjoyed, I feel like I have like 3 words to say, and then I move on. But next we have Mr. Villain's Day Off. I did a whole video on it. Well, the video was really on like why Loki had beef with the Power Rangers subplot. But regardless, I think it was a really good show. It was the perfect amount of like slice of life, really chill vibes. The main character, he was just like, he was interesting. I wonder how many times I'm gonna say interesting in this video. He really, like, I love it when people do like quirky things. He just really loves pandas. You know, he's not from Earth, and he just really, really, really loves pandas. And I don't know, I like seeing people and objects who aren't from Earth interact with Earth. I always think that's so like funny. And so seeing him like do that, and seeing him just walk through like his days and like his day off, it's just a really fun concept. The next one is something terrified at a ghoul school. Did we make it 2 episodes? No. It came out in the fall. I'm not like a trash I don't really do trash anime. I really do like, I like my shows to be good. And there was so much that we were eating in the fall. Eating. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not that bored. I'm not that desperate. I will go outside and touch grass. Granted, I could go outside, touch grass, and watch this. I'm not spoiling my grass with this. Like, the dude really loves uniforms. And it's like, he's like, it's a wholesome thing, I swear. But I'm like, I can do math. You're saying one thing, but like everyone else knows another, you know, like that kind of thing. Next up, we have Mayonaka Punch, which was a really good anime. Surprisingly so. I feel like it might deserve A tier. Actually, I don't know. It's a show about this girl, and she gets kicked out of her like YouTube channel group, and so then she starts a new channel with some vampires. And on the surface, it sounds like just regular, but it wasn't. Like, there was substance and depth to it, and we had like a little bit of action because vampires can do vampire things, and I had a good time, surprisingly. Next up, we have Tonari no Yokai-san. Immediate S tier. Don't sleep on this show. Don't. I need to desperately do an entire video on it. How would I? I don't know, because this show just really came out of left field. I was excited to watch a show where like yokai and humans could coexist, and you could just witness what that experience would be like. Man, did we witness some things? Yeah, that show definitely it sat with me. It like, I got attached to almost everyone in this town, and I'm like, wow, who did this again? Because I need to give you your flowers, because I usually like don't get emotionally fixated on stuff, but this one, once we got to the last 2 episodes, baby, I was shook. I was like, also, what is happening in my body? Like, why am I crying right now? I thought this was just a cute slice of life, and we had like our problem of the week that we needed to solve. No. Moving on. We have Days of Our Stepsister. Why is the C category empty? Well, I guess you're our first inclusion. I'm not gonna lie, this one is actually on pause on my list. I want there to be a dub, but there's only a dub in Hindi, And I feel like if I get the dub, I could just like put it on the background while I do other things. Because I'm curious as to where it's gonna go. Because at first it gives like weird vibes, like I live with my stepsister. Ooh. But like it's not doing that. I'm like, are y'all gonna what's gonna I'm really curious from like a narrative and artistic, like written standpoint, like where is this story gonna go? What themes are they trying to truly share with us? How are these characters all going to just like do better or do differently? And also like the structure of how it's like categorized as like days, sort of like diary entries. I wasn't expecting that either, and it's probably the slowest like slice of life pace show on that I watched this year. I have to be in like a really specific mindset of like, ooh, I'm tired. I need something like lowest of low vibrations, but I don't find myself sometimes like when it dropped, I did. But once I realized like what kind of pace and vibe it had, I was, I guess, pickier about when or when not I would watch it. And that's when I was like, I need the dub. It's been months. Where's the dub? Who can I contact? I'm now on Blue Sky. Who can I contact to get the dub so I can watch this so I can know if it was weird or not? And I also refuse to like go back to Reddit and see what people said overall. Charge ahead with a revamp. There's a word for what this is, and I just don't have words available in my head right now. And that's Ranma One Half, and it's a good show. I did not watch the original, and I've been having a good time. Not much to say about it. Like I'm excited to finish the season. I'm enjoying the characters. The gag's not old yet. Good job. Good job. My dear friend Nokotan, I feel a little torn on this one. Mainly because it started on, you know what? Hot take. It's in the C tier. It started off really strong. It really did. Um, it was just like so chaotic and so funny. But they did the same gags over and over again. I had to put the dub on to push through. If it wasn't for my boyfriend watching it and like he really wanted to see it, it probably would have been in a dropped bio. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. That's sometimes the downfall with comedy. Like, if you have your one gag and that's all you do for 12 episodes, and there's no character development, really, like, but like there are other shows that have gags, but they don't get old that quick. Next, we have Negative Positive Angler, our slice of life show about fishing and friendship. And, this might, yeah, it's A tier. It's a great show. The characters, they're not like extremely out there in character design where it's like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this before. They're not like that, but I can appreciate that like they're a little bit tweaked to be different. They're a little bit unique. And just like the ways in which they are unique, I appreciate that. And the writing is good, even though it's about fishing. It's not boring. I think it's cool when anime like can teach you about a random subject you know nothing about. Getting to learn about like fishing in that regard, I find it like, really fun. I like learning. On top of the like, there is character development. We cheer for that. And so it's just been a really great show. I think it's low key an underrated show of the season. Granted, there's a lot of gas this season in the fall, so I could see why it might fall to the wayside, but it's definitely a great show. I'm really looking forward to finishing it, and it definitely should get checked out and get more flowers. Our last three, we're ending this list strong, and I like that. Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines, S tier, boom. I can't wait to rewatch this show. I can't wait. I didn't come into it with low expectations. I came into it with like chill, like regular expectations, and it just like really exceeded them. I'm, as you can tell, I'm not really a harem person for probably many handfuls of reasons. But this is my like harem not harem show. I love how the author just like has these individual stories, and it's told from this, protagonist's point of view, but he's also his like he's the background character in his own show. um and like that's used in a really well manner, and the art is beautiful. The design is like fun. I just feel so like enthralled. No, I'm just really captivated and like zoned in when like they're doing each one, and they even did the thing where like for each girl's like storyline they change um they changed the intro, and it's like, what, we are really doing this thing, huh? 10 out of 10. It needs another season. Like it can't end like this, and I'm pretty sure there's more source material, and I need to make a video on it. But how do I or just articulate, you know why I'm such a fan of the show? Next up, one of the it girls of the fall season, Blue Box. And ooh, what's important about S tier is like I would fight for them. You know, I don't think I would. When you're in a fight, you might get punched in the face. I would take that hit for the S tier shows. Granted, I don't think anyone would punch me over Dan to Dan being in the S tier. But would I get punched in the face for a Blue Box? No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's like if Horimiya in Haikyuu had a love child, but that love child could never live up to its parents' expectations or heights. Great show. Great show. It could be S tier if the CGI background characters weren't so cursed. They're distracting. I think I'm nitpicking. But when you have a show of this caliber and it looks this beautiful, they stand out. I can't help it. They stand out. But regardless, I think it's a great show. I see why everyone was so excited for it. It's written well. The characters are like really good. We'll see what happens in this mid section of the show where we're at. Because it's either gonna propel itself to like, oh yeah, that show, like it either can make itself S tier, or it's gonna kind of flatline. So we'll see where it goes. I have fingers crossed. I want it to do well. And lastly, but not leastly, we have Train to the End of the World, and this is actually going in the S tier because it's a great show. It was so annoying. Wait, because it's a fantastic show, freaking fantastic. It might be. It might be the most underrated show on this list. Granted, Tonari no Yokai-san is up there too. It's one of those shows where like it's a comedy, but like the gags aren't super repetitive, and the way that the plot is set up, like the girls are going to different train stations to get to their one destination. So each station is different, and so it brings a different element and a different hurdle that they have to go through, and that's fun to see like the characters that you like in different environments and deal with different things. I really loved that. I loved the creativity of the world. It's just so chaotic. Like every episode, I did not know what I was going to get. I loved not being able to predict where we're going. And yeah, there were some jokes that if I was steeped in Japanese culture, if I knew Japanese, I bet it would be even funnier. But that didn't stop me from getting to laugh, from getting to enjoy myself. And even amidst all that, we had it. We had character development. We had something that we were going after. We had something to fight for. For me, that is something that makes a show S tier. Like especially when you feel like you get to learn something, or you get to come out of a show differently, or you just like think about and enjoy the characters so much, even when you're not watching them during the show. So that is my ranked list of 2024. It was a fantastic year for me for watching anime, and I don't know if I'm like specifically really like, oh, I'm so hyped for 2025 anime. I don't know. I feel like that will hurt the 2025 anime that I watch. And so hopefully I get to talk more about some of these shows, especially the S tier ones. I think that's part of the reason why I, am trying to produce some of these videos is because some of these shows I feel like I don't see people talking about a lot. Um, and they deserve to be talked about. The, writers, animators, directors, sound designers, all of them, they deserve to know that, like, someone out there is also taking the time to be like, you did a great job. Kudos to you. I hope you feel amazing about what you are putting out into the world. So that is my 2024 rank. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.